Good morning and good evening, viewers from around the world. Bolokum once again. Uh, Many of you, like I, we grew up watching the unfolding drama of our country from its infants in 1983 founding to its independence. Nothing is far from the truth that we are self-inflicted. All the problem that we have in South Sudan are self-created problem by us, the South Sudanese. Globally, we just become a laughing joke, an absolute diplomatic nightmare. Um, the international community made it very clear there's no path to a complete peaceful South Sudan as long as we continue to depend on Ugandan decision making, as long as we continue to intimidate dissidents and oppositions, and as long as we continue to arbitrarily arrest oppositions, there's no path to a peaceful South Sudan. Following the ongoing treatment of the president in South Africa, wish him quick recovery. The international community once again called for the release of Dr. Riek Machar, and C5 meeting in Addis Ababa spelled it very clear there's no further extension of government of South Sudan. Because if you have not been following politics of South Sudan lately, you'll find that from its independent to the present, South Sudan has been ruled only under one concept, under transitional government concept. And so what C5 suggested in Addis Ababa a couple of months ago was that there should be never an extension of transition government. There must be an election. Now, the question of election seemed to be what consumed the street of Juba and seemed to be what a lot of cynics around Salva Kiir Mayardit think it can be possibly achieved. Well, all the indicators politically made it very impossible to achieve election, while the oppositions that are supposed to be counterparts in the government during elections are all arrested. Some of them are exiled. Some of them are exiled, and some of them are either killed. And so you could see the situation that no matter what is spent politically, South Sudan want to do to come up with some kind of malicious election, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because there's no path to election. There's no specific path to election. So if you are from the eating group in J1, the so-called the mafia group, you would hope that somehow a miracle will just happen, that South Sudanese will just rally behind the president, elect him again, and somehow now you have legitimacy. It's not going to work because the people of South Sudan conscious are finally working, and they have seen the betrayal made by the South Sudanese leaders. So those of us growing up in exile, born and raised, we feel betrayed, like million other South Sudanese. We feel betrayed because all that we contribute value to create independence of South Sudan fall into the crack of some few interest group, a group that only see themselves as more South Sudanese, and 60 million of us are just a bunch of intruders. We're not seeing South Sudanese enough by those in the country. They see us as a threat to their throne. You might have heard some few individuals claiming that the government belongs to them and they must fight at whatever the cost to protect this government, because if this government is replaced by some of us, the opposition, will be replacing their job. In their language, you would have heard that they're using the opportunity of current leadership as do or die concept, that no matter what other people outside says, this is their time to eat, this is their government, and whatever the cause, it must be protected. It must be protected because it guaranteed them job, it guaranteed them opportunities to loot the country, it guaranteed them opportunities to overlook millions of us, South Sudanese. In their definition, South Sudan is them. We are the state enemies. We are their enemies, that they will do whatever it takes to prevent not to return back home. So if you're out there as South Sudanese tired like I am, with all this rhetoric, you ask yourself, what kind of country do you hope you want? A country only exclusive to few individual rhetoric, to few individual benefit, the way it is structured right now. The country only that if you don't have an uncle in the government, or if you don't have an auntie, or if you're not an in-law, or if you're a woman, if you're not married to one of these oligarchs, then you don't have a chance of making it. Or a country that put the interests of the people first than the interests of the leaders. And I guarantee you, in any democratic state, wherever you are in the world, you'll find that a country doesn't exist in a vacuum. It doesn't exist in the narrative of those people who only see how to eat more than how to develop, or more than how to embrace the citizenship, or more than how to create a national unity that can guarantee citizen safety and citizen prosperity. What we have is not a country. It's a country where leaders, during the day, busy looting the country, building their empires in neighboring countries of Uganda, in Kenya, Ethiopia, and elsewhere around Africa. And when they get sick, they fly out of Juba International Airport, they go to Nairobi. But when you yourself and your children get sick, you don't have a place to go. You go to the hospital in Juba, the hospital is malfunctioning. There are no medicines, there are no qualified doctors. But yet these leaders, when they get sick, they fly out of the country with their families because they see themselves more important than the average South Sudanese. And this is the irony. You could see from the president himself. If you're a president of a country such as South Sudan, why would you want to go to another country for treatment when you could actually develop your own hospital to be the same as the other countries that you're seeking hospital? Because the president doesn't value his own hospital in the country. The president doesn't even value his own economy, his own banking system, his own military. So, and you still call yourself a president of South Sudan. You still call yourself a president of South Sudan. You doubt your own military makeup. When crises happen, you go to Uganda to bring mercenaries to come and fight your own people. You use Air Force to bomb your own civilian. And all of this are done in the name of what? In the name of national security. What is national security about all of this? The last time I remember in a democratic society, the word national security is not national security against your own people. It is national security in protection of country interests, country sovereignty against outsiders, against other countries that are trying to exploit or that are trying to invade your country. That's what you establish national security for. You don't establish national security to suppress your own people. You don't use special forces. This is the only country, South Sudan is the only country in the world that unleashed special forces against their own civilian. Last time I remember, elsewhere around the world, in Russia, China, United States here, and elsewhere in advanced countries, special forces are not used for civilian operations. They are used for government counterintelligence and clandestine, not against your own people. But in South Sudan, you don't know who's a member of national security. You don't know who's a police. You don't know who's a security. You don't know who's a military intelligence. You don't know nothing because everything is convoluted around the president. Whatever the president says, that's exactly how the military and the so-called special forces and national security view the country in the lens of fear of the president. So in another word, the country is the president. The country is the people around the president, and not us, the citizen of South Sudan. So you will find yourself, as we move toward December this year, asking the same question millions of us are asking. Where is this election going to, how is this election going to take place? Because there are no conditions that forbade atmosphere for election in South Sudan. Economy is shambled. Military is disorganized. We have insurgencies everywhere. We have tribal warfare against everywhere. We have a dominant government that is only dominated by one ethnic group, which is my group, the Dinka community. And we have all the dissidences either exiled or voices suppressed. Okay, 5 things going on. And on top of that, you have a very disorganized civil society. Number 7, you have a country that doesn't even know its population. The only population that is left in the head of Kir Mayar and his group is 12 million, which is quite a joke. We are more than 60 million people. And we are told, oh, we're just 12 million. The population, all of our 64 tribes, we are more than 60 million people. But for some reason, J1 seem to have digged their head in the sand to believe that we're just 12 million in that big giant piece of land. And number 8, we don't have good international recognition. We have not been able to attract international relationship with the rest of the world. So all of this amount to one thing, amount to a chaotic situation. This election, if it's imposed to people by force, then it will not be a legitimate election. And no matter how you want to twist it and turn it, you will never have a country that is only run by one ethnic group. This is the Dinka tribe, and you call that a country. A country must reflect all the indigenous, all the 64 tribes that make that South Sudan a home. Until then, there's no a country we call South Sudan. If country called South Sudan is only portrayed in the elites of the Dinka tribe, where I come from, then that's not a country. It is either a Chambal kingdom, which I refuse to believe it is, because the generosity of people of South Sudan is bigger than the individual narrative of what South Sudan is and what South Sudan is. So it is up to us, the South Sudanese people, to continue to speak out. Find time, get into group, brainstorm, ask yourself, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? If we have a country that excludes others and a country that see other citizens as what? As enemies, then where do we go from here? Until we have to accept each other, whether we like each other or not, we have to accept each other. We're not the best perfect country in the world, but our unity is paramount. We cannot have an exclusive government that suppress others at the expense of keeping the leadership. So these are the issues that brought me to life to come and discuss with you, the public. We have a Chambal type of government that exclude others and still call themselves the government of South Sudan, run by a group of criminals and mafias, people who only see their children more South Sudanese than the children of other million citizens, people who have turned country into a laughing joke globally, and yet they still want to do business with the rest of the world. And those are the situations we find ourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. So as I leave you with this kind of thought, think about it. What kind of South Sudan do we all need? South Sudan, the way it is, being given narrative by the elites and the mafias in Juba, or South Sudanese where we, the citizen, can have a say? And I believe, obviously, you know the answer. So as we watch unfolding drama of president health in South Africa, there's still also a drama back at home in the event if he comes back and he's not able to perform his duties, what would be the next chapter in the history? And I believe a couple of days ago, I provided an answer to that as of right now, the country is being run by Mama Nyanengit and Taban Dengai. Those are the actors left behind to run the administrative day-to-day until the president come back, whether he's capable or he's not capable. All I can say is that wish him quick recover, because number one, he's a South Sudanese like you and I, and he deserves the right to be healthy like all of us. Debate doesn't change the fact that doesn't celebrate somebody else's health issues. Debate is a man thing to do. We can debate while we're healthy now, but we cannot debate while wishing other people ill intention. That's not my position. My position is I wish the president quick recovery. Hope he can come back and join the conversation. So friends and families, I salute each one of you for turning in, and I look forward reading your thoughts and sharing your views. And as I said, we cannot have a country until all of us are included in a conversation. Thank you.